Hey everyone, it's Hers with HC Customs, and today we're making some Borderlands inspired dice based on the Psycho from Borderlands 2 or Krieg. I have another set for Krieg, but that one's kind of got fake blood spatter on it. But anyways, today we're going to make some Psycho themed Borderlands inspired dice. So a little bit of backstory. I've been playing the Borderlands series. I've got all the games, and when Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep came out, I was like, man, I would really like some Borderlands inspired dice. But one, they didn't exist, and two, I wasn't a dice maker at that time. Well, about a year ago, when Tiny Tina's Wonderlands came out, the idea restruck in my head where I'm like, man, maybe I should just, I'm a dice maker. I'm going to make some Borderlands style dice. I'm like, well, where do I start? I've seen some really good dice where the people will put the markings on the outside of the dice. And I don't know how they finish it, but it seems like to me that it would wear off. So I'm like, all right, what can I do? So what I did was I took some blanks and engraved them in the Borderlands style. I got an art book just so I can study the art style so I can kind of make these inserts look as close to the source material as possible. And then Wonderland's coming out, and I'm like, oh, well, maybe there's a font available that I can license or whatever. No font existed. That was all hand drawn on those dice in the game. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? So what I did was I referenced a bunch of shots from the game and made my own font. I made the font completely from scratch. Just looking at the dice, I'm like, okay, so we're gonna do this, and this is where I got my inspiration from. So it's Borderlands style. Wonderlands style font, and I hold real dear to me that I was able to accomplish something this cool. I mean, in my brain. But yeah, here's the process. Here's what I did from beginning to end, aside from the engraving part, because I've already done that. I've made a mold of it. We can't forget our PPE because PPE is very important. We'll have our epoxy, our colorants, our molds, and all that stuff ready. Mixing cups, stir sticks, all that stuff. We'll be mixing up 40 milliliters of Mr. Nola's epoxy because I'll be also making another for a D20 necklace. And then I'm going to mix a couple drops of Alumilite White into that mix. For part of the effect of this dice is a dirty look. So what I do is I take Ranger Slate Gray and I'll put a drop in each reservoir of the dice. Then I will fill them up halfway with resin. And then aside from the D4, I'll look at it and see if I need another drop. And in most cases, I'll put another drop of the alcohol ink and then top it off with the rest of the resin. Then, of course, I'll get it all packaged up, put in my pressure pot for 24 hours. So after 24 hours, I'll demold them, clean them up, and I know at this point they look really, really ugly, but just keep in mind that there's more to it. Once those are done, I will take my black paint and paint in those little grooves that I engraved for those masters on that mold. And this is where it starts coming together with the art style for these dice. And then once they dry a little bit, I'll do the process again. This time, when I put those in the mold, I will take resin on my fingers, and I will get some resin on my fingers just so I can get it in those grooves so I don't have any voids. This time I'm going to be mixing up, I think I did 20 this time, but you could go a little bit less. I think 15 would suffice for just a set, but I made 20 just to cover, doing that extra D20. I wasn't quite sure because I didn't write it down on my nice little black notebook of all my dice recipes. But yeah, with that I mixed up 20, got those in, same process as last time, got them all covered up in the pot for another 24 hours. Now it is time to do the fun stuff. We get to demold them again once more. We'll clean up those edges. We'll sand any faces that, possibly need to be like sanded down because of any blemishes on the near the cat face. And then what I'll do is I'll polish them. I'll take my zonas to either the pink or the light blue, which is just when I do my sanding, I'll skip the green and the white and I will just use the gray, blue, pink, and light blue. And then we'll get those to that point, and then I'll just Dremel polish the rest of the way, which gives it that nice shine. And after that's done, I will throw out my ultrasonic cleaner just to get any of that that polish off of there, get any of the numbers clean. And once those dry, I will paint my numbers. In this case, I will be painting my numbers in Apple Barrel's Pumpkin Orange. Now, this is a gloss, and it kind of goes against what I like to ink my dice, which is usually a matte color, but I felt this gloss color was just right. It was the color that I wanted for this particular set of dice because it really hits the orange of the Psycho, whereas the dirty, like white and gray, matches like the mask. So with the numbers, you've got like their pants and sometimes the marking on their mask, and then you have like the dirty white with the like the cell shade, like the outlines.
That's fancy.
And there you have it. Those are my Borderlands dice from beginning to end. I hope you liked the video. If you did like it, hit like. If you really liked it, hit subscribe. I know I hadn't been around for a while, but I didn't really have much dice content to create that I hadn't already created up until this point. I wanted to get some things going before I did this. So like I've got these, I've got some washi tape ones that I have recorded that'll be up. I have to I have to work on some sphere core dice, as well as possibly doing a dice cage necklace video. I'm still trying to figure that one out. But anyways, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. And again, this is Hers with HC Customs. If you want to check out more of the dice, hit up hccustoms.com. I do have a Borderlands collection. Have a good one, and we'll see you next time.